Remaking Super Smash Bros. In 24 hours or less. Hey everyone, how's it going? Geek here, and today I'm showing how I remade everyone's favorite family-friendly tournament fighter in less than 24 hours. Before we get started, wombo combo that subscribe button and help the channel get to 10,000 subs. New Year's is coming up, and what better way to welcome in the start of a new year than with a brand new subscription to the channel. Starting off, let me explain the challenge. I had 24 hours to make my own version of Super Smash Bros. From scratch. Now obviously it isn't feasible to remake an entire AAA game in less than 24 hours, but that's what makes the challenge so fun. To make my bootleg beat 'em up legit, I've set a few rules for myself. My remake had to include at least 2 characters, a unique moveset for each character, at least 1 palette swap alternate skin for each character, at least 1 stage, and a functioning menu to tie it all together. Anything extra I add in on top of that is just a bonus, as long as it's functional. Starting with the first rule, I needed my 2 playable characters. Growing up with the Smash Bros. Franchise as a kid, I'd always dreamed of putting my own character in their roster, so in some ways this was a dream come true for me. Luckily for me, I had a willing character model just lying around, specifically my Geek skull. It was a lucky break for me because I had a fully modeled character ready to go, helping cut down on time. All he needed was a rig. This was pretty easy. I mean, the model was literally just a head. So I slapped some bones upside my own head and did some weight painting to make sure the top and bottom jaws worked correctly. From there, I needed a second character. Well, if you take a look at the banner art I made for my channel, the one that appears at the end of each video, you'll know where I'm going with this. Nothing says healthy relationship like a husband insisting his wife be the opposing character in a pretty brutal fighting game. Then again, Mario beats the shit out of Peach in the actual game, so that's the end of that argument. Either way, I had 2 playable characters in the game. I'd give that an A+. From there, I moved on to Rule 2, needing a unique moveset for each character. Now this is where things get tricky. Animations are tough to handle under normal circumstances. It takes a ton of work to make animation cycles look just right, and it can take a ton of tweaking and editing on just one animation before a developer is satisfied with it. Anyone who's actually worked on animations will agree with me on that. I wasn't under normal circumstances though. With the clock ticking, I didn't have time for tweaking and editing the animations. My 24 hours were literally flying past me by the second, so I had to move fast. I'm not even joking when I say I did all my animations in the span of just 2 hours. I can already tell all my animators in the audience are probably cringing at the thought of that. Not an exaggeration though, about 2 hours. But everything worked out and the animations weren't terrible. Both characters have the same idle animation, hovering in place, but have slightly different walking animations. The Geek character can headbutt opponents and bite, while Mrs. Geek character can do a chin hit and a spin attack. Every character was also given an ultimate attack animation, with Geek firing a laser and Mrs. Geek throwing a bow projectile. The animations, while admittedly a bit choppy, turned out far better than expected given the short time frame they were made in. So for that, I'd give them a solid C. They were fine, but in hindsight I could have probably dedicated more time to them and still have been alright in this challenge. I did, however, add in a bonus feature. I gave each character a taunt. See, in Super Smash Bros., each character has several taunts they can use, or emotes, I guess, whatever floats your boat. Whatever you want to call them, they're a pretty big part of Smash Bros., especially if you're looking to end some friendships while you're playing. So I wanted to give my own characters a taunt as well. Geek will turn and show off his deal with its shades, while Mrs. Geek will send you off with a cute little love letter. How adorable. These taunts actually turned out pretty well and definitely add another level to this game. So while it may not be enough of a bonus to bump my C to an A+, I think we can all agree a B- is acceptable for those animations, yeah? Moving on to Rule 3, I needed at least 1 alternate skin for each character. This was actually pretty easy and one of the more fun parts of the challenge for me. Anyone who's been a part of the Geek community long enough knows I have an evil doppelganger. He started out as a joke amongst the community mods when I started working on my Flash game, but eventually turned into a full character with a backstory and everything. He's not really like me at all. The mod said he's more of a reverse, and seeing as how he's already a palette swap of me from green to red, I decided to use Reverse Geek as the alternate skin for Geek. It's a good thing he's married too, because we were able to bring his wife into the game as well, using Reverse Mrs. Geek as the palette swap for regular Mrs. Geek. Both alternate skins are fully functional, and you have to admit, they look pretty cool too. So for these guys, I think we can all agree the alternate skins deserve an A+, if for no other reason than looking good. From there, it was on to Rule 4, building a fully playable stage to fight on. This part was annoying. Not because the stage was overly complicated to model or anything, it's akin to the Battlefield stage from the actual game. No, it was frustrating because of the camera actor. It wasn't enough for me to just have a fighting game by the end of this challenge. The whole point was to make a bootleg Super Smash Bros., and that means remaking its camera. I probably spent a majority of this challenge making the camera work properly. Once I got it set up, I ran into a consistent issue where the camera would seem to stroke out whenever the characters stood too close together. After getting frustrated with it for a while, I finally managed to get the camera working, and from there it was a matter of playing with values to control the camera's position and zoom. The camera position is determined by finding every character on the map and averaging their distances to find the center point between them, and then finally moving the camera to that location. The camera position is set to update every few frames, which is fast enough to keep all players on screen during runtime, no matter what you do. The zoom of the camera was annoying to work with and still isn't entirely perfect, but it does the job decently as is. To determine the zoom needed, the camera takes the previously calculated average between the two players and after some quick math, decides how zoomed in or out the camera should be. The stage isn't big enough for the zoom to change that drastically, but you can still see it happen occasionally. The stage itself turned out pretty well, with it really being just a few blocks and some starter content assets. All things considered, it doesn't look too shabby. I give it a solid B+. Finally, I needed to move on to Rule 5, building a functional menu to tie the game together. I originally made just a simple widget asset with a couple of buttons, but after testing it out, I didn't like it at all. Having just a solid background and blank text buttons just isn't interesting enough, in my opinion, to look at. So I spent a good amount of my 24 hours designing some stylized buttons to make the menu pop. I think the menu is probably the single coolest part of the game, honestly, and it looks pretty awesome. The artwork turned out really cool for the amount of time I made it in, and it really gives the game a more complete aesthetic. I even added in a proper character select screen for you to choose your character. Just like in Super Smash Bros., clicking on the character portrait after making your selection changes the skin. Looking at this menu setup, come on, you gotta admit it deserves at least an A. A-. It may not be perfect, but I say it looks pretty good for the menu system thrown together in less than a day. So, with all the rules of the challenge met properly, let's see how I did. Rule 1, A+. The rule was to give the game at least 2 playable characters. Not only did I implement the 2 characters, I'd say they're the best damn characters around. I completed the rule, not much else to say. Rule 2, I give it a B-. The rule was to give each character a unique moveset, and while I did accomplish this, the animations are far from perfect. With that being said, it's not like they're trash either, so I gave myself a C. I did, however, give each character a unique taunt animation on top of their moveset, so I argue that little bonus feature would give me some extra credit to boost me to a B-. If you disagree, just look at the little love letter Mrs. Gamer Geek gives you. That alone deserves an A in my opinion. Rule 3, I give it an A+. The rule was to give each character an alternate skin, and honestly, this was one of the easier parts of the challenge. Seeing as how the alternate skins, like in Smash Bros., are just palette swaps of the character, it's hard to mess this one up. Plus, using alternate skins that have actual meaning to the community rather than just picking random alternate colors deserves a good grade in my opinion. Rule 4, I give it a B+. The rule was to build a functional stage to fight on, and I'd say this bootleg battle simulator delivers. While it may not be perfect, the stage isn't the worst thing you've ever seen. It's arguably better than some of the things you see people charging money for on Steam, so I say this deserves a pass. You can even set the stage to nighttime too, so technically that's 2 stages? Whatever the case, I'd say I earned that B+ at least. Finally, Rule 5. The rule stated I had to make a menu system. That's it. Nothing said it had to be super stylish or flashy or anything like that. Not wanting to be lazy though, I really went all out on the menu system because I think it looks so much better than flat, boring text. The character select screen, the main menu, it looks pretty cool in my opinion. I'd say that's worth at least an A. Averaging everything together, my grade comes to about an A-. Not bad considering everything was made in less than 24 hours total. Before we call it a day though, I have a few extra features I tossed in to help increase my score. The rule said nothing about having music, but as every Smash player knows, an epic background theme is what makes a fighting game awesome. So I went online and I found an epic, royalty-free instrumental song to throw in as an awesome theme to fight to. It sounds great, and I'd say it earns a bump from an A- to an A for my overall score. But I didn't stop there. I also added a model viewer and a basic options menu. Did I need it? No. Did I like it? Hell yeah. Especially the model viewer, which is absolutely something we've seen before in the real Super Smash Bros. Franchise. In the end, does my 24-hour bootleg remake of Super Smash Bros. Deserve an A+? Well, that's for you to decide. I definitely had fun making it though, and I hope you had fun watching it too. To anyone who wants a more in-depth look on how certain aspects of the game are set up, I'll be giving a more detailed explanation on the camera actor, the character select system, the model viewer, and how I made the menu button textures over on my Patreon. Before you go, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you all in the next one.